What's up, all of you Regs and all of you Shinies? It is Jackson from the 1313 podcast here, and I am so excited today to bring you the long-awaited and anticipated Star Wars The Black Series Clone Trooper 2-pack, only available at Target. Now, in this 2-pack, we are getting a new 332nd and the brand new Phase 1 Trooper mold. And let me just tell you guys, ever since they announced this, I was just so incredibly excited. This is the perfect army builder pack that you could get. Not only are you army building Phase 2, but you're also army building the brand new Phase 1 mold, which looks amazing, and I'll get into all that in just a second. But just a quick reminder, everybody, if you're not already subscribed to the channel, please make sure to hit that subscribe button. If you would like to join an amazing community of Star Wars people, make sure to join our Discord. Everybody in the Discord is super awesome and super nice, so we're very thankful to have that. Make sure you check us out on Instagram, X, we have a Twitch as well, and we like to post short form content here and there, so make sure you stay tuned for that. But without further ado, I'm going to talk about these two amazing, beautiful action figures I have in front of me. And I'll go one at a time for this, so it isn't overwhelming and I'm not jumping back and forth. So I'm going to throw the Phase 1 Trooper over here for just a second to really highlight the brand new 332nd Phase True Trooper here. And just a quick look at the box. This is the packaging for it. This was the least destroyed of Tommy's Target packaging. If you follow his collector's page on Instagram, you'll see that his boxes were shipped in clothing bags and were absolutely eviscerated. So this is the least damage that I have to show you for you all today. But both troopers go in it here, and I'm actually very excited and very happy that they do this. But Hasbro has kind of kept true that whenever you have a clone trooper that is in some sort of pack, it comes with both the DC-15A and the DC-15 rifle here. So that way you can kind of customize it and do whatever you want for a trooper, so they're not stuck to one blaster variant. So I'm happy for that. Sometimes I like to make my troopers dual wield, because why the heck not? You have the ability to do it. But first, as I said, starting off with this 332nd Phase 2 Trooper. Now this is on the brand new 2023 Clone Trooper mold, and let me kind of move them around a little bit for you. And if you are new to the channel or maybe don't understand what that mold is, I'll kind of quickly highlight some of the brand new amazing features that we have for it. So the first one, which is really cool, helmets can come off. Ta-da! So now you have a Tamara Morrison head under it, and now this time it has a very nice matte finish on it, so it's not shining. There's some facial scars here and here. The chest rig, it's kind of an independent system that's free-flowing that I can move up and down, which helps posability. The knee pads as well are also not attached to the incorrect side. So now they are free-floating agents that you can move around here to make your poses more realistic as well. So that was a huge dub that Hasbro had as well. But beyond that, again, it is just a standard Clone Trooper figure. But something as well that Tommy and I were discussing right before this review is that it seems they've updated the helmets, because there was kind of a lurking issue with some of these new helmets on the troopers that you would put it on and you'd see the chin underneath. But now I have the helmet all the way on and secure, no chin. So maybe Hasbro heard our complaints and they fixed it? We don't know, but I'm still happy about it too. But yeah, as you saw at the very beginning of this review, I had him in a beautiful one-legged pose. That is a 1313 trademark that we try to go with here on the show, everyone. If a figure can hit a one-legged pose, it's goated. But obviously you can make it do any sort of standard pose like this, or even some of my favorites. Now that these action figures have neck joints, you can make that head tilt down a little more for a realistic version of aiming down the weapon. But yeah, I'll just kind of pose them like that real quick. But ta-da! What I really enjoy about this specific version of the 332nd Trooper is how bright and vibrant this orange helmet is. I'll take it off really quick and just kind of pull it in front of the camera. Put the Trooper there, put this right here. But holy cow, I mean, the design on it is rough, and that's intentional from the Clone Wars if you saw Season 7. But holy cow, does that look great. Because what I'm going to very briefly compare it to was the original 332nd Trooper that we got. Now this is on the slightly older Clone Trooper body, but nothing wrong with that. This is how it looks side by side. Now obviously here, it's a very darker shade of an orange. His visor is also a gray, that's picking up at least on camera, which is nice. But the helmet isn't removable, but there's a white Tamir Morrison head underneath. And as I was talking about the parts, here was the biggest issue that I was trying to say. The knee was connected to the thigh, which now when you want to bend the knee to do a kneeling pose, oh no, where's your knee armor? Not in the right place. Thanks, Hasbro. But with all jokes aside, a lot of the parts on this figure are very stiff. Like as I showed with this, the chest rig moves, this one doesn't move, and made it a little bit more hard to pose. So I'm very, very happy that the awesome folks at Hasbro kind of changed how they were working on this so that we could have a more posable and fun action figure. But yeah, that's how these two look side by side. Personally, I'm not going to get rid of my older version. I like to think of it more as every trooper kind of had a rougher paint job in the Clone Wars. Some turned out better than others. So I'll hang on to these guys right now. But I personally ordered 2 of these packs so I could kind of start to pack my 501st shelf a little bit more with these awesome action figures. So I will put the 332nd Trooper over here guarding. And now I'm also very, very excited to talk about this beautiful Phase 1 Trooper that we have here. Now Hasbro stated earlier this year that we would be getting a brand new mold for Phase 1 Clone Troopers, which haven't had a rework since the original design of Phase 1 Troopers, which I have it to show side by side, but I will do all that in a minute. Same thing with this one here. We have him in a very awesome one-legged pose, just this foot right here, just more of a general support, which is still nice. Armor markings on this, again, very similar to the 501st here. Just got the blue on the sides and on the helmet. I'll acknowledge the elephant in the room. It's listed as a lieutenant on the packaging, but if you've seen Attack of the Clones, you know a lieutenant has a 4-dot blue rank on its chest right here. It is what it is. I don't really care. And I'm glad it isn't an officer trooper anyway, because that way it's easier to army build, because then you don't have a bunch of officers. You have grunt soldiers like this that you can customize, which is perfect. But his helmet also comes off. Ta-da! And you get that beautiful Tamir Morrison face underneath with the matte finish that I was talking about. And again, with this helmet type, you're putting it on, and wow, no chin. You can even kind of push it down so it almost looks like it's smushed on him. But even if I lift it up a little bit more so you can get some sight of the neck area, it's still pretty hard to see the chin. So that was an absolute dub for Hasbro. I would like to point out as well that this version of the Phase 1 Trooper is based off how we see Phase 1 Troopers in Ahsoka. Now this is a newer version of a Phase 1 Trooper because it is a mix of what we see in Attack of the Clones and then in the Clone Wars, because the mouthpiece right here significantly dips down and the edges of the helmet here flare out similar to how they do in the Clone Wars, but the rest of the armor almost completely follows a realistic style. Now, to give you a better understanding of what that looks like, I do have the original. This is the Clone Lieutenant figure that the Black Series originally had, and this is true to Attack of the Clones. As you can see here, the helmet is very tapered off on the sides, that mouthpiece is tighter, and what's most important to note as well is that it doesn't have a head underneath, but this is supposed to mock how Phase 1 Clone Troopers originally appeared in Attack of the Clones. Because they were CGI models, the helmets could be tight because you weren't expecting to take helmets on and off. It did have some of these jointed pins here on the arms and on the legs, so I am a bit excited that now we have nice smooth butterfly joints all around in the body with no pins, so you can move it around, and it looks more realistic doing it like that too. So kudos to Hasbro for continuously improving their product and how it looks. I am also personally more biased towards this shade of blue on the Phase 1 Trooper than this shade of blue right here. It is just a bit dark, but that's because in this circumstance, this is a clone lieutenant that appears in Attack of the Clones, when clone officer and NCO ranks are all dots on the chest here in solid colors. This is before we see the individuality of the clones in the Clone Wars, where they start to mark their own armor and they change it a bit. Obviously on this is the correct shade of blue for the 501st, so absolutely no complaints here. The posability potential with these two action figures is absolutely insane. I mean, you can obviously hold it in some sort of just position like this, or even in the trademarked 1313 one-legged pose like this. I think these action figures are absolutely insane. By the time that this review comes up, well, as of right now on April 3rd is when I am recording this, the action figures are still live on Target and they're shipping within 3 days, which is awesome. I think it's absolutely amazing that we have a very large stock of action figures that are in demand, and I'm seeing so many people buy up tons of these packs. I bought 3 of them myself just because I wanted to make sure that I could help other people get them if they weren't able to, because I truthfully thought that these were going to sell out because they did on Target originally, and there was that whole fiasco which I will not touch in this review. But I'm just glad that clone enthusiasts like ourselves can get very awesome high quality action figures, and we're going to get the regular plain white Phase 1 Trooper in June or July when that releases with the Droideka on fan channels, and who's to say all the other amazing clones we're going to get. We already got that Mace Windu and Clone Trooper pack for Heroes of the Republic. That's going to be a very great opportunity for even more clones to be released. I know they just pipelined Yoda and a version of Gree from the comic books where he's like gray, which is really, really cool. And I'm also excited for that, but what a time to be alive as a prequels clone enjoyer in the Black Series. Could not pick a better time to be alive right now just because, again, all these action figures are amazing. But if my review helped you decide for yourself if you wanted to get this pack, or if you really enjoyed the review itself, leave a comment down below. I'll try to reply to every single thing that I can. But thank you all so much for watching this 1313 podcast review. Make sure that you're sticking around for Fridays at 7 a.m. when we have our brand new episodes come live. We are almost done with the Bad Batch. I can't believe it that I'm saying that, but I don't want to believe it's almost over. So make sure you're tuning in every single week. But yeah, that's all I got for you today. Thank you so much if you made it this far into the review. I appreciate you a ton. See you and have a good rest of your day. Bye-bye.